working at Carroll Manor?
Since 1996.
Okay. Is there any way, whenever I ask you a question, if you could say something like, I've been working at Carroll Manor, just sort of repeating the question back. So you've been working at Carroll Manor for 22 years. So how long have you been working here?
22 years.
Okay.
I've been working at Carroll Manor 22 years.
Okay. How did you start at the facility?
Okay. Do we have tissue? Because I usually cry.
Yeah, no.
It started off, I was in a shelter. And the shelter was called Hannah House. Sister Carol, who I thought was just a nun, but she was the president of the hospital. But I thought she was a nun, but I didn't know that she was as big as she was to me. And she was doing a fundraiser for Hannah House to keep the shelter open. And that's where I met her at, because I was the resident of the month. So she took me to another fundraiser. She asked me what was my plans when I came out of this shelter. And I was like, I just want to work somewhere. So that started the ball rolling. She gave me a chance. She called me one day and she said, Patricia, I want you to bring your resume to Providence. And I said, Providence? I said, okay. And I brought my resume and they pushed me right to work. And so I came in to be a cook, but they didn't have a cook's position open. So she asked me, she said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I'll do whatever. And I did. I didn't really think that I was going to stay here as long as I have. But I stayed here. I was working like 3.5 hours. So, and I was making $5.25 an hour. I still have that pay stub. I still have that. I got it framed. And so I said, how am I going to get out this shelter with $5.25 an hour? And somebody said to me, one of my friends said, don't leave before the miracle. And I stayed. And it went on, and I fell in love with 250 people on every floor. I fell in love with them. And I've been here ever since. You know? I fell in love with them. So it's not just one resident, it's 250 of them. And whatever they ask me for, I like to make them happy through food. You know, something that they ate long time ago and they might want me to fix for them. Or sometimes I might not know how to fix it and they'll teach me how. I like talking to them. I like laughing with them. I like crying with them, you know. But I've lost a lot of friends since I've been here. But that's okay, because each one of them that I've lost have taught me something. So when you work here, you gotta have a heart for it. You gotta have passion, because they need that. I always say, for this right here, they live here, and I'm their servant. And so I serve them.
Do you mind me asking how you came to be in the shelter?
Oh, now I'm gonna cry. It was a long road for me. I was in the streets, and I had been in the streets for a very long time. And you know, when you're in the streets, a lot of things happen. I'm talking about drugs, alcohol, all that. And I got in some trouble. And I ran into this judge who said, you got a problem. And I said, no, I don't. He said, I'm telling you, you got a problem. So he put me in treatment. So on this journey that I've been on, it's been a lot of people to kind of reach out their hand to help me. So he put me in treatment. I went to treatment, and that's how I got in the shelter.
Okay. And so at that point you met Sister Catherine, is that correct?
Sister Carroll.
Sister Carroll, okay. Okay. So when you're here at Carroll Manor, what is kind of your biggest challenge?
I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to do what I really want to do a lot of times. But what I leave the day, if I leave the day and one of the residents asks me for something, going out the door, in the morning, I got it. I go right to them. So that's my whole thing. I don't have enough time.
What is your favorite part of working here?
The residents.
Okay. Do you mind saying my favorite part of working here is the residents? Kind of thing?
My favorite part working here is my love for my residents, all of them. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Okay. Do you have a special relationship with anyone in particular that you want to mention?
I have a special relationship with all of them.
Really?
Yeah, all of them.
So you mentioned earlier that you show your love through food. How did that kind of come about? Is that through the training program? Or?
No, what I did was when I first started working here, I met a resident named Miss Sutherland. She was on the 5th floor. And what she'd do was, I told you there was people put in my path to help me get through. And when living in the shelter, they would let me out early in the morning, and when I go back in, dinner's already over with. There was a supervisor here that knew I was in the shelter, and she would say, "Get some food. I want you to eat now." So I would eat, and this resident would come down every day and eat dinner with me, and she would talk to me. She
You know, through your experience, you've 22 years here, what's some advice that you would give to other people who are starting out as a caregiver in a nursing home or a hospital?
Would you mind just holding 1 minute?
Sure.
Sorry.